Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am coming to you guys today with a new video and a new episode from my mini budget series that I have been doing here on YouTube. I am now at episode 6, I believe. I can never remember what episode I'm on, but I think it's number 6. So the very first one I did was how to start a budget when you get paid on a weekly basis, which is what I do. Next one was how to start a budget when you're paid on a bi-weekly basis. And then I jumped into all about cash envelopes. Number 4 was basics of debt snowball. Number 5 I just released last week, which was my most favorite episode to do, which was all about sinking funds and everything relating to sinking funds. And then number 6 is one that I am actually adding in by request. After I did the first 2 starting a budget on a weekly and a bi-weekly basis or pay period basis, I got so many requests to do a budgeting video on monthly pay periods. So I thought it would be a really informative video to add into my mini budget series. So that is what I'm doing for you guys today. I have a couple different notebooks here to help me out. This one is just an Erin Condren notebook, and then this, as you guys know, is my budgeting monthly deluxe from Erin Condren. Now, I do want to say before I get started here that I do not even know how people who get paid on a monthly basis do it. I totally admire you guys because, you know, getting paid one time a month, you have to have such good money management tactics or responsibility, willpower to be able to budget out to make that entire paycheck last your entire month, because you're not going to get anything again for 30 to 31 more days. So if you get paid and you don't have a budget in place and you get paid on a monthly basis, and within a few days you just go and blow that entire paycheck, because obviously getting paid on a monthly basis, your paycheck is going to be a lot larger than those who get paid on a bi-weekly or a weekly basis. So if you just go and blow that entire check for your 1 month instantly, you are literally screwed for the rest of the month. So I would say that out of all 3 of the different pay periods, so weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly, I would say that they're obviously all important. Budgeting is important, but I would say that monthly, you have to budget to be able to make that last. I don't know how people who are paid on a monthly basis that do not budget, I don't know how they survive. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I have everything ready here. So, just like I said, we're doing this video on how to start a budget when you get paid monthly, one time a month. That's it. You're getting nothing else until the next month. The first few steps of any of the budgets is always the same. The very first thing that you need to do is you need to write out all of your expenses. I might do this in a different color. We will do purple. Okay. So write out all expenses. And obviously that's because you need to know where your money is going. So not only are you going to write out any debts that you have that you're paying minimum payments on, I have blue ink on my hand, don't mind that, any expenses, you know, rent, mortgage, utility, electric, phones, anything like that. Any other, you know, do you have subscriptions? Do you have Hulu? Netflix, anything like that, iTunes, whatever. Your TV, what do you pay for that? And then also, how much gas are you going to need for the month? How much are you going to budget yourself for groceries, spending money? Do you have sinking funds? How much is all of that? Everything that is going to be coming out of that check for an expense, you need to write out. I do have mine right here. So like I said, this is my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner, and I use this specifically for my budget. If you are interested in this one or the notebook, I do have a link in the description below where you can get $10 off of your first order, or I also have a affiliate link down below too if you have already ordered with them. It costs you nothing, but it does benefit this channel. Anyways, so this is my budget that I do every single month. So this is for the month of November. Here are all of my expenses. So I have my 4 debts right here. So Capital One is a credit card, One Main is a personal loan, Apple, and then this one here is my car loan, and then my kids' school account, my daughter's tumbling, I have rent, Hulu, our cell phones, car insurance, and then I have gas for the entire month, groceries for the entire month, spending for the entire month, and then my sinking funds for the entire month. So I write down all of my expenses that I foresee upcoming in the month. You may have unbudgeted expenses throughout the month, which that will happen, but these are all the ones that I foresee in the upcoming month. And then you want to write down what those expenses are and then total that up. After you have done that, you now need to write out your income. And you want to write out all income sources for the month that you are anticipating getting. So if you are single and you only rely on your own income, that's perfectly fine. Write out all the income that you expect to get for the month. And then if you are married, or even if you are living with someone and you guys maybe share some of the bills, you would have to account for that as well. So just all the income that you expect to get and that you are going to budget with, you need to write out. So you have your expenses written down, and then you're going to have your income. So my income, I write in the same budget section as I do my expenses. So my income is up here. So I have 3 different income sources, or I guess categories, I would say. This is my full-time job, and this is what I expected to get for the month of November. This here is my part-time job, and that's what I anticipated. And then online, obviously I have various different online categories. I have Etsy, I have YouTube, I have Sharecell, I have Erin Condren, and that's what that budgeted amount is. So my total projected income for the month I would write down here. So after you get these 2 done, you can then figure out what your expenses are minus what your income sources or total income is going to be, to figure out how much wiggle room you have, and then from there you can put that extra money toward sinking funds, debt snowball, savings, whatever it is that you want to do with that extra money. So as far as the budgeting goes, we want to figure out how to get all of our bills paid for that one time that we get paid for the month. Alright, so the next step in this budget process would be to write out your, I lost my train of thought. Write out your due dates for all of your bills. And now, since for those of you that get paid on a monthly basis, this part, I guess, would be optional, but one idea that you could actually do is, since you're only getting paid once a month, maybe you get paid on December 1st for the previous month. So you're getting paid December 1st for all of November's work. You could, rather than trying to, I'm going to get a different color that's a little darker, rather than trying to figure out, you know, what due dates are going to come within the month of December, a lot of companies will actually allow you to change your due dates. So that would be one option that you could do. So I'm just going to write optional here, and that would be to change all bill due dates for, how do I want to say this? For payday. We'll just put payday on here. And basically what that means is if you're paid December 1st, you're going to change all of your bill due dates to be sometime around there, maybe even like the 5th or something. That way you get paid on the 1st, and then you are going to just take care of all of your bills right out of the gate. That way all of that money comes out right away and you don't even have to see it anymore. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. That way the only money that you have left are, you know, maybe you're going to do like your gas, your groceries, any of your, if you do cash envelopes, any of those, sinking funds and whatnot. So the bill due dates would be like any of your debt payments, your mortgage, your rent, the TV service, cell phones, utilities, you know, anything like that. See if you can change it so that they're all due right around that payday, so that when you get paid, you instantly pay all of those bills at once for the entire month, and then it's out of your checking account. You don't have to worry about spending it before you actually have to pay for your bill and you spend it on something else, because that would be a bad deal. So that's one option. The other option that I would say, and this is what I do with my paycheck to paycheck budgets, which, like I said, I get paid on a weekly basis. So what I do, when I very first started budgeting, I had to basically come up with some of the money to pay bills in full to be able to do this next process. And that is what you are going to do. So I'm going to kind of make up a mock budget here. So I'm going to use real dates. So let's say that we are going to start budgeting in December. So December 2019 is when I decided that I am going to start my budgeting, and I get paid on a monthly basis. So I am going to say that I always get paid, I know December 1st is a Sunday, but we're just going to go with that. That I always get paid on December 1st for the entire month. So, and that December 1st paycheck is coming from the work that I did in November. Not that that matters in this situation, but so on December 1st is when I get paid, and that is when I want to start with my budgeting. So I'm just going to write down a few bills here. I'm just going to probably pick up like 5 of them. So let's say, so I'll write bills right here. So let's say we have a credit card that is due on, we'll say the 13th, and that credit card is $50 a month. And then we also have, let's say our rent is due on the 17th, and our rent is $500 a month. Then we have our health insurance is due on the 21st of every month, and that is $300. My pen is not faring very well here. I'm gonna switch pens here. And then let's say, so that was insurance, and then we have a car payment that is due on the 25th for $200. And then we will end with, let's see, We'll end with our electric bill, which is due on the 29th, and that is $150 a month. So let's pretend like these are the 5 bills that we have. So, and this does not include obviously your gasoline, your groceries, your sinking funds, anything like that. This is just your like basic bills, necessities that you need to pay for every single month. So you are going to get paid on the 1st of December. And let's say that you're getting paid $3,000. So every first of the month you get paid $3,000, and you have to make that amount last you the entire month. So what you're going to do is that very first month, so since we are just deciding that we want to start our budgeting now, and let's see, today is November 19th. I already got paid on November 1st, and I need to start budgeting. So what we need to do, we're not going to get paid again until December 1st. And then really, I already spent all my money for November on all my bills, and that's why I want to start budgeting, because I need to keep better track of my money. So we're not going to get paid until December 1st. So when December 1st comes and we get $3,000, it's kind of a, I guess, an easier way, because we will then have that money up front to be able to pay these. So when December 1st comes around and we get that $3,000 payday, we are going to switch colors here again. We're going to go ahead and pay this credit card for $50. So I'm just going to write this over here. We're going to pay the rent for $500. We're going to pay the health insurance for $300. We're going to pay the car payment for $200. And we're going to pay the electricity, which is $150. So I'm going to go ahead and pay all those. Now, what I would do is, in some of these, like especially, some of your credit cards, any of the debt payments really, you might not know what your minimum payment is going to be. It depends on when in the month the statement comes out. So what I would do is I would probably go in and pay the ones that I absolutely know are going to be the same, like your rent, or your health insurance is probably the same. Your electricity might vary. The things that are not going to change, I would go in right away when you get paid and pay those. And then the ones that you do not know yet what the payment is going to be, you probably aren't going to pay those until you actually know. But let's say that we know that this is what these payments are going to be, so we're going to go ahead and get all of those paid right out of the gate, so that the money is taken out right away and we don't have to worry about spending it on something else when it was meant to go to a bill, and then struggling because we now don't have the money to pay for that bill when the time comes for it to be due. So that's $1,200 that is going to these basic necessities. Let's flip a page here. Alright, so you have your monthly paycheck was $3,000. You paid $1,200 in bills, and that came from this right there. You paid $1,200 in bills. So now let's figure out, so you have $3,000 minus the $1,200. So you have $1,800 left to play around with. So we'll just put $1,800. Now you need to factor in your groceries, your gasoline. If you do cash envelopes, you need to factor in that. If you do sinking funds, you need to factor in that. So let's say that you know that for groceries that you are going to want to do, let's say, $50 a week in groceries. Obviously, this is completely dependent on your family size and whatnot. And $50 a week is what we're doing, which would be $200 for the month. And now there's two options that you can do your cash envelopes also. You can either take all the money for the month out at one time and fill your cash envelopes on a monthly basis. The only problem with that is you need to have, really good, I guess, control over your spending, because if you go to the grocery store the very first week of the month after getting paid and you have, your $200 in there for the entire month, it's very easy to overspend what your weekly amount is. So you allocated yourself $50, but you have $200. It's very easy to overspend that $50 because you have a cushion in there. But then if you keep doing that every week, you're going to get to the third or fourth week of the month and you're going to have pennies left over in your categories. So, like I said, you guys can totally do that. You can put the money in there on a monthly basis, as long as you have good willpower, to know that you can only spend what you have allocated yourself on a weekly amount. So, I am going to suggest that you put or take money out for your cash envelopes on a weekly basis, even though you're getting paid one time at the beginning of the month for $3,000. So, let's say groceries. We are doing $50 a week, which comes to $200 a month. And then gas. So let's say I am allocating myself also $50 a week for gas. Actually, I'm going to do $30. So every week I'm going to take out $30 out of my checking account because that money, or that $1,800 is there. I'm going to take out $30 a week for gas. And that's going to be $120 a month for gas. And then let's say we also have a eating out. Say we have a eating out cash envelope, and I'm going to give myself $20 a week for the eating out envelope. So that would be equivalent to $80 a month. And then we're also going to give ourselves a beauty envelope, which we will do $20 a week. And again, that is the equivalent of $80 for the month. So let's say those are our 4 cash envelopes. So our gas, or our groceries, our gas, our eating out, and then our beauty. So on a weekly basis, every single week, even though we're getting paid one time a month, every single week I'm going to be putting $120 into my expenses cash envelopes. So on a monthly basis, you're looking at $480. So there's your weekly amounts, there's your monthly amounts for your cash envelopes or your expenses and whatnot. And actually, I think I'll write that right here. So this would be cash envelopes. Or expenses if you don't do cash envelopes. Like I said, you can do it either way. You can take it all out in a monthly amount. You can put $200 for groceries in your or cash envelope, $100 for the month for gas, $80 a month for eating out, and $80 a month for beauty. But if you spend all that money right away, you don't have any more money for that specific category until you get paid again on the next month, on the first of the next month. So I just know myself and how I work, how my mind works. If I see that I have $200 in my groceries cash envelope and I go to the grocery store for the first time, even though I know that I'm only supposed to spend $50 a week, I'm probably going to spend more than that. I'm a spender. I 100% am. And I find that if I am bored, I do a lot of online browsing and shopping. So for me, having the money, all of that money in those cash envelopes for the entire month right away, it would not work for me. But if you can do that, if you aren't huge on spending, if you know that you can control your spending and only spend this amount per week or this and not this, then you will do absolutely fine. So that would be your cash envelope. So we are now going to take this amount here and take it away from that because that's how much income we had left after paying for our bills. So then we are going to, where am I going to write this? So we have $1,800 left over after bills. And so then we are going to come in here with our cash envelopes. Which totaled for the month $480. And that gives us, so let's see, so we have $1,800 minus the $480. So we have $1,320 left over. Now obviously you are probably going to have way more bills than this, but this is just an example. Keep that in mind. Okay, so now we have this much money left over. So another thing you can do is sinking funds. So sinking funds, if you do not know what they are, or maybe you've heard of them but you want to know a little more information, that is the budget series that I did my last video on last week. So I will post that link down in the description below. I'll actually post all 5 previous episodes down below. But sinking funds are basically mini savings for something that you foresee happening in the future. You might not know when it's going to occur. You might not know the amount you're going to need. It might be something that is predictable or not predictable. There's so many different things, but it's just little mini savings for specific categories. So let's say that you want to start a few sinking funds for some things that you know you have coming up. So you know that you're going to need tires for your car sometime soon. So you want to start a car maintenance sinking fund. So let's put that car maintenance sinking fund. Let's say that and sinking funds, when you get paid on a monthly basis, I would probably fill them once a month. So like me, I get paid on a weekly basis, so I fill my sinking funds every week. But you have the money all at once, one time a month, so when you do sinking funds for car maintenance, I would probably just, or car maintenance for sinking funds, I would probably just fill it all at one time. So these are going to be monthly amounts. So car maintenance, let's say you want to have $500 to get new tires by within like 5 months, or let's do 4 months. So we're going to take 4 months, that's about 4 months, so, and you want $500. You're going to do $500 divided by the 4 months, so you need to put $125 in that sinking fund every month so that within that 4-month period you have that $500. So we're gonna do $125 for car maintenance. And then let's say Christmas is obviously coming up in a little bit because, you know, we're at the end of November. But let's say you want to get started on a Christmas budget for next year. So you want to start a Christmas sinking fund. Now, you know when Christmas is, obviously, but you don't really have an exact amount that you want to get to by Christmas. You just know that you want to have some money saved up for Christmas. So let's just say that you are going to allocate $50 a month. Actually, let's do $100 a month for Christmas. And then that way, by the time next Christmas comes around, you'll have about $1,200. And then maybe you are planning a trip somewhere, Disneyland, anywhere, a camping trip, whatever it may be. So you're going to do a vacation sinking fund, and you want to allocate $200 a month to that. Another one that I am currently doing right now would be car insurance. I currently pay my car insurance on a monthly basis, but I would like to start a sinking fund so that by the time I need to get it by July, I need to have this money by July, that way I can start paying 6-month premiums at once rather than paying on a monthly basis, because you save quite a bit of money. So for me, I'm not starting this sinking fund till January 1st, so I'm just going to use this as an example. So January 1st, so I get paid this day, so I would take it out this one. I know that I need to get that money by July, and it's, now I don't remember how much it is. I think it was like $400. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I have 28 paydays until I have to have that money. And so we would take that 28 divided by the 300, actually I think it's 400, 28 divided by the $400 that I need, and if I did that right, I would need to put aside $14.28 every time I got paid, which for me is on a weekly basis. But say you know that you need to have $450 for car insurance, for your car insurance premium saved up by June, and you get paid on a monthly basis, so you're going to have, let me calendar back out, you're going to have December's paycheck, so that's 1, January is 2, February is 3, March is 4, April is 5, May is 6, and June is 7. You're going to have 7 paychecks before you need to have that $450. So if we just take that 7 paychecks divided by the 450, you would need to take out $42.28, and I normally round up. So you would need to take out 65, I think I said 42, 65 dollars out of every month's paycheck to go for car insurance. That way when it comes time for June to come around and you have that car insurance premium due, you have that money already set aside. So that's basically the gist of a sinking fund. So let's say these are your sinking funds that you want to have. So we'll just put that here. These are sinking funds. So we're going to add these up. So we have the 125 plus the 100 plus the 200 plus the 65. So we have $490 in sinking funds that we need to take out of our check when we get paid. And like I said, I would fill sinking funds on a once a month basis. So I would pull all of that out of your $3,000 paycheck right away, fill these sinking funds and then do that every single month. So what we had left over after our cash envelopes was $1,320. And then we are now going to add in, or I guess take out, our sinking fund amount for the month, which was $490. So we have that $1,320 minus the $490, so you're left with $830. And then at this point, there's really just two things left to do. So you have, after all of your bills that you need to live on a day-to-day basis, you have a roof over your head, you have a warm shower, you have water, you have heat, AC, whatever it may be, you have that all paid for, and then you have all your expenses, your grocery, your gasoline, any of your specific cash envelope expenses taken out. After that, you have gone through, you've taken out all the money for your sinking funds that you're going to need for the month, and you have this amount or any amount left over. There are two things that you can do. You can either put them in savings. Maybe you don't have any debt and you are just going to put them into savings. Or maybe you do have debt and you are working on paying that debt off. Then the next thing that you can do with that leftover amount here is to put it towards your debt snowball payment for the month. So not only are you making your minimum payments here for your bills and any of those that may be debts, you also have a hefty $830 to put toward an extra debt snowball payment for the month. And now, of course, before you start anything like this, you always want to make sure that you have a emergency savings set aside, which Dave Ramsey suggests $1,000. And so if by chance throughout the month you've already did all this, you figured everything out that you're going to need, but then all of a sudden your washer breaks and you obviously were not planning on that happening, and you could use a portion of this money to pay for that. So maybe you need to set your debt snowball aside for just this month because you have to pay for a washer, or you could use that emergency savings that you have saved up, but then the next month you want to work on recuperating that $1,000 or whatever you spent out of it to get that back up to where it was, and then you can continue working on your debt snowball. So there will be situations like that where you have unbudgeted things. Obviously, we live in a world that just stuff happens. It really does. It happens to us all, and you cannot plan for absolutely anything, but having like sinking funds like this really make planning for the unexpected a little bit easier, I guess I would say. So that is basically it. That is how I would budget if I were paid on a monthly basis. I would write out my budget, know your numbers, try to change my bill due dates if possible, but if not, I would still pay everything that I could right when I got that paycheck the first of the month, or whenever you get paid throughout the month. I would then figure out what I needed for bills, then move on to cash envelopes, then move on to sinking funds, and as you go, figure out what you have left and what you have left over that you can allocate towards the next category. So obviously, these are the most important. You need to be able to pay your bills to be able to live in a house, or anything. You need to be able to do that. And then next important would be you have to buy groceries. You probably have to get gas to drive. These other categories aren't as important, but you know, that type of stuff. And then next you have sinking funds. Figure out what you have left over, and then you can put them towards savings, or you can put it towards debt snowball. So that is how to budget with monthly pay periods. Like I said, I will post the other videos from the previous weeks down in the description below, so check that out if you guys have not. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscription button down below. Click the notification bell, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!